Welcome back. For anyone who follows those really unsettling mysteries from the wilderness, today we're digging into one that's still just completely baffling. We're talking about Kenny Veach and the M Cave, and we're not just going to recap the basics. We really want to get into the strange, almost unbelievable details around his disappearance back in 2014, using, Kenny's own words from right before he vanished.
Yeah, what's so gripping about Kenny's story, I think, is how it really pushes against what we think we know. You've got this experienced guy, his quest, and then something genuinely weird out there in the Nevada desert. It makes you wonder what else is going on out there.
Okay, so let's really set the scene here, because Kenny Veach, he wasn't just some weekend hiker, right? Our sources are clear. This guy knew the outdoors. He was comfortable in really harsh, remote places. He even had that YouTube channel, Snakebit McGee.
Right, Snakebit McGee.
Yeah, where he posted his trips, and maybe that name alone tells you something. Apparently, he'd sometimes, mess around with rattlesnakes he found. So definitely not someone who'd easily panic or get lost out there. He knew the risks, knew the terrain. And one of his last videos was actually called M Cave Hike. He was trying to go back to this specific place, the place that kind of became his obsession.
And that experience level is so important here. In search and rescue, when someone highly experienced goes missing, it's different. It's not like a novice getting turned around. For someone like Kenny to vanish, it suggests something beyond just getting lost or having an accident. It makes the whole thing feel really unusual.
Right. And this is where it gets properly weird. He first found this M Cave sometime before 2014, out near Nellis Air Force Base, remote area. He said the entrance was shaped exactly like a capital M, strikingly perfect. But it wasn't just the look of it. When he got close, something happened. Kenny described this physical feeling starting up. His whole body started to vibrate. And he said the closer he got to the opening, the stronger the vibration became. Not just a little tremor, but intense. His exact words were, my whole body began to vibrate. The closer I got to the cave entrance, the worse the vibrating became. Suddenly, I became very scared and hightailed it out of there.
Hightailed it.
Yeah. He later said it was one of the strangest things that ever happened to him. And think about that for a second. This is the Snakebit McGee guy who said he'd been in more caves than I can count. But this cave filled him with this overwhelming fear, plus that physical vibration. He just ran. He called it beyond anything I'd ever encountered. But even then, even with the fear, there was something else.
Like a pull.
Exactly. He decided right then he had to go back someday. But next time, he said, he'd bring a weapon.
That physical reaction, the vibration, the fear, it's so unusual. It really points towards something more than just, being creeped out. For someone with his experience to react like that, it suggests some kind of powerful external thing happening. We can only guess, obviously. But you sometimes hear about things like infrasound, sound below human hearing, causing weird physical effects. Or maybe some kind of geological thing, electromagnetic. Whatever it was, it clearly wasn't just in his head. It was a real physical experience. Deeply unsettling.
Yeah, unsettling is the word. And after that first time, the M Cave wasn't just a memory. It became, an obsession for him. He had to figure out what happened, had to find that cave again. He went back looking for it several times, filming these trips for his YouTube channel. You can see him getting more and more frustrated.
Right, because he couldn't find it again.
No. Despite knowing the area really well, he talked about one hike, 10 hours long, where he said he completely searched the whole Dawn Canyon, knew it like the back of his hand, but nothing. Could not relocate the cave. All he found was a tarantula and a tortoise.
Gone.
Yeah, and his search kind of became known online. Some other YouTubers were apparently calling his hand on it, sort of daring him, maybe encouraging him to keep looking.
So there was maybe some external pressure, too.
Maybe fueling it, yeah. And he was so specific about what he was looking for, almost like he could see it perfectly in his mind. He described it as deep, and it's dark, and it's shaped just like the letter M, and about as tall as I am, and kind of narrow, and, crucially, stuck on the side of a mountain. The fact he remembered it so clearly but just could not find it again, it's almost like the cave itself was messing with him.
Well, that drive to go back to something terrifying that says a lot about, the human need to understand things, or maybe to conquer fear. For Kenny, it seems like it stopped being just a cave. It became this huge personal challenge, this unanswered question eating away at him. You see that sometimes, people feeling compelled to revisit something traumatic or bizarre, to try and make sense of it or master it, and failing repeatedly just seemed to make him more determined. It turned into this, personal mission.
Definitely. And that mission led to his last on loan post. It's honestly chilling to read now. He wrote, "I'm going again this weekend. I will be hiking solo for 3 days." His plan was huge even for him, covering about 40 miles on foot, crisscrossing that same canyon system where he first found the cave.
40-mile solo. That's serious hiking.
Very serious, and he said if he couldn't find it there, he'd continue hiking over mountain after mountain to the north of the canyon. Just keep going. And then he wrote this really raw line. The M cave is the only cave I ever feared going inside. I really want to find it again.
Wow. Admitting the fear, but still pushing forward.
Yeah. And it's worth pointing out, someone did warn him. Another YouTuber saw his post and just replied simply, "Don't go in."
A warning.
Which he clearly didn't listen to.
That final trip really shows how much power this M cave idea had over him. It wasn't just curiosity anymore. It was like this single-minded focus that just overrode all his usual caution, all that experience he had to admit you're deeply afraid of a place but feel you have to go back. I mean, what was driving him? Was it proving it was real? Conquering the fear? Whatever it was, it pushed him into this incredibly risky solo hike in a very remote, dangerous place. And, well, that set the stage.
And then nothing. Just like that vibration started abruptly, his whole quest just stopped.
Yeah.
He disappeared on one of those solo hikes, presumably still looking for the M cave. They organized a search pretty quickly afterwards. Big effort, experienced people involved. Yeah. But they found almost nothing. It's deeply strange.
What did they find? Anything at all?
Just his cell phone. It was found near a very vertical old mine shaft. Which are obviously dangerous features out there.
Yeah, phone near a mine shaft. That sounds suggestive.
It does, but that was it. No clear path to or from the phone. No backpack, no gear, no sign he felt, no sign of an animal attack. Nothing. It was like he just evaporated. They brought in search and rescue experts, wildlife people, mine safety guys. They scoured those canyons and mountains he hiked in. And after all that effort, absolutely nothing was ever found of Kenny Veach. He was just gone.
And that total lack of any other trace, for someone like Kenny, an experienced hiker, that's what makes this so weird and lasting. Usually, even in sad cases, there's something. Bit of gear, tracks, some indication of what happened. For someone to vanish like that, especially with modern search teams looking, it just doesn't fit the usual patterns. Finding only the phone near a mine shaft, it's a clue, but doesn't explain anything, really. How did he get there? Why only the phone? It makes you face that really scary idea that sometimes the wilderness just takes someone, leaves nothing but questions behind.
Exactly. And that's where we are with Kenny Veach and the M cave. This mystery that just hangs there. You've got the unexplained vibrations, the intense fear in a guy who wasn't easily scared, the obsession that followed, the weird inability to find it again, and then poof, gone. Just a phone left behind. It's a stark reminder that, there are things out there in the wild places we just don't understand.
It really is.
Yeah.
This whole case just underscores the raw power of the unknown, especially out in those really remote, untouched areas. What could possibly cause that kind of physical reaction Kenny described, that vibration, that fear? And what does it really mean when someone who knows the land so well can just disappear without a single solid clue? It just leaves you thinking about the vastness out there and what secrets it might still be hiding.
Absolutely. Well, we hope this deep dive into Kenny Veach and the M Cave has given you something to chew on. Thanks for joining us as we explored this unsettling mystery. If you find these kinds of true, chilling stories as fascinating as we do, please do hit that like button. Maybe share this with someone else who loves a good mystery. And definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs, for more deep dives into the strange unexplained. We'll catch you on the next one.